fellas, how y'all doing?
Good, man. The Knicks are 2-0 in the Eastern Conference semifinals, so I'm feeling great.
I'm
Um,
glad you feel good. I've been a Knicks fan too long. I'm tight. I just keep waiting for something to go wrong.
I just I don't feel like that's how you should be.
I know. But listen, this has been a long time. There's been some tough times for us Knicks fans for a while.
Yeah, but I'm feeling like there should be some optimism.
Yeah, it's cautious optimism. That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair
No,
enough.
listen, I tell you, those paces are real.
Yeah.
I know we get into it, but they real. And so, we'll see how
I've
it
felt
works.
that.
Yeah.
The first game was I feel like the first game was a little bit more gut wrenching than the second.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's
We'll
let's
talk about it.
let's
We'll talk
let's
about
kind
it.
of get into
Yeah.
the
Let's
business of,
go.
of, of what's happening here. All right. So you know what it is. We got to
Faster
give FAFSA
smoke.
their smoke because they're just not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So Steve, set the stage for us. What's happening? What's the update with FAFSA?
So FAFSA is finally should be working for everybody, and if folks are having issues with getting the form completed, make sure you reach out to their technical assistance line. It should be working for everybody. Not like it's the middle of May or anything, but it should be working for everybody now. Students should be getting their award letters. Things should be happening. We are still 40% down year over year on completion. And so we are all turning our efforts now to figure out how do we help close that gap. While it may not be helpful, may not help all students who are sort of down for bound for a bachelor's degree institution to not have completed a FAFSA already. That doesn't necessarily mean we shouldn't be doing it for students who are choosing or open enrollment institutions or delaying their enrollment till December. And so we are looking for everybody to do what they can over the summer to help students who have yet to complete the FAFSA do so. Lots of big campaigns and marketing energy going into that. And I know lots of organizations are spreading themselves thinner to help as many students as they possibly can continue to complete that FAFSA.
Yeah. Thanks for
Steve,
updating us on that.
Steve, do you know if so? Obviously, this rollout has been kind of a mess. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Not kind of a mess; it's been a huge mess. But
Yeah.
do you, based on the product that they're actually creating, like the solution that they've developed, just
Yeah.
beyond the technical glitches, do you think like if it was working well and had been rolled out in a timely manner, it would have been a good solution, or is there still a lot of work to be done on that end?
No, I mean, I think had they done it well, it's a good solution for the students who it worked well for and worked right for. I'm hearing 20-minute completions on FAFSA, right? Which is a world of difference to the FAFSA that you and I completed and all the paperwork that had to go with that. And so they've definitely were effective at making the form meaningfully shorter. And had they rolled it out on time, I think we'd be celebrating what was done. We just can't get there. And so my hope is that for next year we shall see. It should be a lot easier for students to be able to complete their FAFSA. All students complete their FAFSA, and hopefully we'll see completion rates jump back up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my heart still goes out to those folks that are still waiting on that
Yep.
financial information in order to make an informed decision about what college that they're going to go to. I know a lot of colleges have that deadline of May 15th, and based
Mm-hmm.
off of not having the adequate information in order to make that decision, it makes it very tough for our young people.
Yeah.
If we have young folks that are listening to the show or parents that are uh, in conversation with these young people, I, I want students to be able to live their dreams and go to the
Yeah.
university of their choice. However, I want it to be a good, sound financial decision and investment in
Yep.
terms of what's going to happen 4 years later when you don't have a forward thinking president like Biden that's trying to give back to students that
Yep.
are historically marginalized in terms of like give forgiving college loans, because if you don't have
Yeah.
that and then you have that debt, um moving forward, it just makes it really hard to live life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes it hard to live life, and it makes it hard to see the benefit of the whole point of college, right? The whole point of college is economic and social mobility, right? But if you are starting behind the eight ball because you're starting with, you know, 70, 80, 90, $100,000 worth of debt, like that's tough to overcome as a 22-year-old, right?
Yeah.
And so the idea is like, how do we start our students off strongly with a degree, a great first job, and manageable debt? I think should be the goal. It's the best way to address the debt crisis moving forward, right? The student loan.
So, but let me ask you guys this question, right? So we've done research on college costs in the 80s, college costs in the 70s and the 80s, right? And so we see these skyrocketing college costs in like the 90s, 2000s, all the way up until now, to where you have some universities that it's like $100,000 a year in order to go to these universities, but yet you're not seeing the bang for your buck that you used to see in terms of what was happening financially in the 70s and 80s. If you had a college degree, like rightfully, you could have a certification of being a plumber and make just as much money as someone that has a college degree. Mm-hmm. So like, what's the push now in terms of like not telling our students like, hey, there's other things you can do. So like I in my mind, I'm thinking out loud, I'm just like, I just want you to be a productive citizen, to be able to take care of your kids. So like, yeah, I'd love for you to go to college, but if you don't, and then you decide on a career that's going to be able to like help you and help your family sustain, I'm with that too.
Yeah. I think that's right. I think as long as you said something really important, you make that decision, right? And it's not forced upon you. Like if what you want is a degree and you want a bachelor's degree, we should not erect barriers to you getting that degree, right? But if you have a different choice, then we should help you make that other choice. I think, you know, ironically, I think it's not just the cost of college, but it's actually the way we've helped students pay for college. So it used to be in the 70s when the Pell Grant first started, that the Pell Grant would help you cover 70% of what it costs to go to college. Yeah. Pell right now covers like 25%. So while the cost of college if that, right? So while the cost of college has jumped up, we haven't kept up the funding mechanism at the same pace, right? And so that's why we're seeing college not be a good economic decision, is that we've told students for years, college is the best way, college is the best way, college is the best way, but it hasn't been a nuanced enough bit of advice, right? We need to say, you need to do it in an affordable way, right? You need to be careful about the way you spend those dollars.
Yeah.
Agreed. All right. What's next up for us? All right.
From FAFSA smoke.
From FAFSA smoke to what's permeating in society right now. Right? Like
I just realized that that's meat in the middle. That's beef in the middle.
Listen, bro, there is not a podcast, there is not a YouTube, there's no rabbit hole that you can jump down right now that is not talking about this beef. Yeah. And so this beef is kind of all encompassing. There's a lot of different elements that are happening here. I don't feel comfortable talking about some of the elements that are happening here. I just want to make that clear. But man, this is historic. What are y'all's initial thoughts in terms of like what's happening here?
Man, you know, it started out as like, great, this is finally like hip hop's doing the thing that we wanted to do. Like it's putting the lyricism at the forefront. People are taking jabs at one another, and then it just escalated so fast. And now I'm just like, I have like two main thoughts. Like one, J. Cole must be so happy on a beach somewhere sipping pina coladas that he's not in any of this stuff, because he made the right choice to like rescind his entry into this beef, and that was the smartest thing he could have ever done. And then second, like, man, like the fact that obviously, you know, people, you know, they make up stuff, they make stories up, they might bend truths or, you know, share rumors and like, you know, position them as fact. But for all the things that I'm hearing, it says a lot about both artists that like when I hear an accusation, that doesn't have any foundation or basis of claim. And I'm just like, yeah, they probably did do that, and that probably did happen. And like, that doesn't say very anything good about either of these guys. But you know, from music standpoint, I think Kendrick got it, but that's just me.
All right, Steve, jump in here.
I mean, you think Kendrick got it over to the kid from the Mickey Mouse Club or whatever it is, Degrassi or whatever it is that Drake did? I can't remember what it is now. Here's what I know. You know, it has reached a fever pitch when my wife came to me and was like, "Yo, have you heard what's going on between Kendrick Lamar and Drake?" And I was like, wow, it has reached mainstream society. Yeah, it does remind me of that scene from Anchorman after the fight where he's like, wow, that escalated quickly. It feels like it escalated really quickly. What I would say is I love it. I love it. It can't get scandalous enough for me. It can't get juicy enough for me. It keeps me listening. On the average, I've been disappointed with hip hop lately, and this has brought my interest back into it. And so keep it up, guys. Belittle each other for my entertainment.
Bro, that's wow. that is wow. Graham, I'm gonna have to disagree with you. I know you think that K-Dot is like in the lead right now. I absolutely do not think that. I think that based off of the bars, in the bars alone, I think the Sixth God is winning this battle right now. I think some of the things that because listen, in the last track, he talked specifically about feeding misinformation in this whole misinformation campaign, right? Then you hear this track where all of these misinformed tidbits. You got an 11-year-old daughter who doesn't exist, and like all these things. So it's like I can't even listen to you no more because you didn't fell into the trap. But here it is. We have an accusation that has been made with someone not seeing their children for 6 months, and then allegations of like domestic violence. Like, bro, you can't live that down. You can't live down allegations of domestic violence, especially when the person that's on the receiving end has not come out and said that did not happen, right? And so I think that it started off being really good for hip hop, and then I was just like, damn. But based off the bars, listen, all I wanted Drake to do, I wanted him to be able to come in and like put up a good fight. I didn't know if he was gonna be better than Kendrick. I didn't really even care. I just did not want him to sit it out and like take it on the chin and for folks to feel like he was some sort of punching bag. He did everything that I needed for him to do. If these allegations are true, I'm not gonna listen to his music because But if they are not true, I'm gonna continue rocking his music, or I'm gonna rock his music until these allegations are proven true. Because I like Drake's vibe, right? Like I just do.
Do you remember the Chappelle show? Remember the Chappelle show used to have that skit when keeping it real goes wrong, right?
Yeah,
that's this.
That's this.
Yeah.
But moving on.
Moving on. All I know is that when he said A minor, I was like, oh,
yeah,
right.
When he said, that was a good bar. But then he came back with the B major.
but hold on. G, I heard something the other day, and I'm not a musician, but I heard that the other thing is that the key of A minor has no black keys in it.
That's true.
So there's levels there, right? There's levels there.
Don't do that. There's not levels. Y'all,
there's levels there, man.
I hate when y'all do this, bro. I hate when y'all. Y'all be taking GED students and turning them all the way into PhDs.
And he even said it in the tone of A minor. There's levels here. This is three-dimensional chess.
Yeah,
it's definitely chess, but it's not the kind of chess that I want to play. No. All right. Now, the title of the show, baby. We're here. The title slide. The Nova Knicks. The Nova Knicks. All right. So, what have been y'all's thoughts so far on this historic playoff run?
Go ahead, Steve.
I'm trying to soak it in. I'm trying to enjoy every second. It doesn't happen that often, right? And so I am like just enjoying everything that is happening. I got to be honest with you. Sometimes I'll be watching a game and sometimes I need to change the channel because with these Pacers, it's like we score and then like 2 seconds later, I don't even know where the ball went and they've already tied the game up. I was like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm trying to do my best to enjoy it and sort of sit in it, but it's got me stressed. Like I feel that stress now pumping in every game. Like when Brunson was out in the second quarter the other night, I was like, I need to step away from the game for a little while because like this is giving me palpitation.
Yeah, I feel it.
I mean, I saw some stats somewhere. I guess like a clutch game is considered like if it's within the last 5 minutes and the score is less than 5 points, it's like clutch. It's like a clutch game. And 7 out of the 8 games that they played in the playoffs have been clutch games. And so like you can't look away. There's like no lead is safe. I know like my wife was watching the game 6 with me against the Sixers, and they got out to this huge first quarter lead. And I think they were up like 22 or something like that. And she was like, "Oh, that's good, right?" And I was like, "No, that is not good." Like that's
It's gonna be 52.
No lead is safe. No lead is safe in the NBA. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But for me, man, this is giving me a whole lot of perspective in terms of just what I want to see moving forward from the Knicks. So Steve got your clip about Draymond talking crap about the Knicks, right? And some of it I can see it's a little bit legit in terms of like the weakness that has been coming out of the Eastern Conference. And so I get it. But I think our Knicks are a little bit different in terms of just like how tenacious they are, right? Because like you can have someone that is having a bad game, having an off game, but then somebody else picks up the slack. And I feel like the heart for us is actually Josh Hart. Like,
yeah.
He is the heart of the team in terms of how he approaches the game and just in terms of like all of the skills. Like I feel like it was one of you guys that, or I was talking to somebody else, maybe somebody else I was talking about, that if he could shoot, it would ruin his game.
Yeah. He's got, you know what it is? He's got that tenacity after the ball that you want. You want your players to go after the ball the way he goes after the ball, right? He is a small dude and he follows every ball to the glass, right? I mean, the other day, the last game, the Pacers actually had more rebounds than the Knicks, but it didn't feel that way.
Yeah.
Right? It didn't feel that way because you see Josh Hart crashing those boards every time there's a shot, even when he's beat, right? Like, so I'm just impressed with that work ethic that they all have, honestly. But he's definitely the heart of that team.
So there's a couple things that I want to see moving forward, right? So after this year, like even if we go to the finals, even if we win, there's a couple moves that I would love for us to make. I would say 3. So the first move that I would love for us to make is to replace Tibbs with Jay Wright.
Okay.
Okay.
I feel like Jay Wright is a forward-thinking coach, and he is not going to run his players into the ground in terms of having them play 48 minutes. He's going to have a bench filled with former Nova players that are going to come in and be able to support us the way that we need to be supported. The second thing is Julius Randle. I want him off this roster. If we've gotten this far without Julius Randle, we don't need him. We could trade him to Golden State and get Clay. The third thing which is probably the most important thing here, is that we need to do a better job in terms of our media campaign for Brunson to MVP.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Kobe
happened too
should have
late.
been MVP 3 times, man. Bro, it's either Shea out of Oklahoma City or Brunson. This was a Brunson year for MVP. He did everything you needed him to do.
It's Knicks hate. So I just gotta tell you, like, just generally there's Knicks hate out there. I mean, you watch the TNT show with Shaq and Barkley, like it's just Knicks hate. It is New York hate, and I love it. I love it whenever they talk. I'm like, keep talking, keep it. It feeds me. It feeds me. Just give me the New York hate. It feeds me. I mean, you heard. I mean, not that I think he's all wrong, but Barkley talking out of pocket, being like, "Well, even if they do beat the Pacers, they're gonna get swept by the Celtics, right? Like they're gonna get crushed, right? Like, I love it. Just keep giving it, and that's why he didn't get no love for MVP because MVP is the most important player to a team. You're gonna tell me that Brunson's not the most important player to our team, right? Like, are we where we are without him?
So quick question, since we're talking about basketball, and we'll make a smooth little pivot, right? So like I saw something with regards to Shaquille O'Neal. And I guess apparently right now he's currently beefing with Shannon Sharp. So Shannon Sharp gossiping, doing the Shea, whatever he does or whatever. I think it's terrible for NFL Hall of Fame athletes to be out here gossiping to make money. There's other things that you can do. But he said Shaq is not considered to be a GOAT or in any GOAT conversations because of his work ethic as he approached the game when he was playing. And so what are y'all's thoughts on that in terms of like Shaq and GOAT talk?
I mean, he was the most dominant player in his position like for a long time. Like nobody could touch him when he was at the peak of his powers. And even when he was on the come up and like for a few years, like toward the end, like post the Miami years, like he was still pretty dangerous. And so I mean, I don't know what his reputation was for his work ethic, but I know that he wasn't about to let Kobe outshine him when they were teammates. And Kobe is like one of those people who was just like a pinnacle of like basketball preparation and work ethic. And so I don't know. I disagree with that, but I know he does a lot of extracurricular stuff. I feel like he's on every commercial that I see. And so maybe he wasn't quite as focused as he needed to be.
He was like that when he played too, because he was doing movies. He was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, and there's a clip of Kobe asked that question, like, where would Shaq be if he had your work ethic? And Kobe was like, he'd be the greatest that ever was. Right? Like that sort of real clear, like, I don't know what his work ethic is. I will say this. I love Shaq, but I don't know. I put him ahead of Kareem. Right? Like I like in terms of GOAT, I'm not even sure he's the GOAT at his own position. Right? Yeah. And so like that's where I come down. Is like I have to put Kareem before him. And so But he's top 5, right? In my mind.
Not only is he top 5, he's top 50, he's top 75. Like, you know, these are all the things. But in his defense, here's what I'll say. He never went out to be the GOAT. He wanted to be the most dominant. And based off of his approach and what he wanted to do, he accomplished his goals. He was the most dominant big man probably in the history of the game. Like, he did what he wanted to do when he wanted to do it. Shout out Big Shaq. All right. Last thing we got is forward thinking. So what forward thinking ideas do y'all have? Because you know y'all always trying to push the envelope. So I wanted y'all to have
you the one who wants to get rid of Tibbs after 3 seasons in the playoffs.
Even if we win the championship, that's crazy.
For Jay Wright, who has no NBA experience.
I know.
That's funny.
That didn't even deserve a comment when you said it. I let it go by, but
I mean, hey, those are my thoughts. So, what y'all got? Anything y'all want to push forward? I'm all right.
Oh man, that's funny. I've been thinking about AI recently. Like we started an AI working group at our school. We got some folks learning about the systems, how to support learning, and also just make practical solutions and operational tasks like a lot easier, more efficient for people, so that they can spend time doing the things that are more valuable. And we in New York, we started computer-based testing this year for it was for half of our students. Next year it'll be everybody. But like I think my forward thinking idea around that is that it's computer-based testing is not good. And it changed the way that teaching and learning happen. And it is like changed. It is more efficient in terms of getting the information you need, but it doesn't actually help to prop up learning and accelerate student growth in the ways that other methods do. And so I think the forward thinking thing is that like maybe we should take a step back from all the automation and all the computer-based stuff. But that doesn't sound like a future looking intervention, but that's what's on my mind these days.
Yeah. Hey, I appreciate you sharing that. Steve, what's up?
Hot take. I don't think anyone should ever be allowed to run for or hold a public school board seat if you don't have any experience in education. I am tired of people thinking that because they went to school, they understand how school should operate. It drives me crazy. And I know y'all gonna be quiet here because y'all gotta be quiet, but I'm gonna say it. But for the future of our country, we need to make sure that we put people in charge of schools and school boards that have had some basic foundational understanding of teaching and learning. I'm there.
Yeah, you're right.
Y'all can be quiet. I'm just saying. I'm tired of it.
You're so right. You are so right.
Yeah.
Right? Anybody? Oh, I went to class, so I know what it is.
No, like not as right as in right as in you right. I'm not gonna say nothing.
I know you're not gonna say nothing. No, I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you both be quiet.
Where's the disclaimer? Is the disclaimer running across the bottom?
Oh man. So I'm thinking we need to get a live show in. So maybe we do a school visit. We got a school visit in us, Steve.
Yeah, I think we do that. I like that.
Yeah. So we get a live show going.
That sounds
good. I like it.
What's next week looking like for you, sir? Because I wanna get on this AI conversation.
Woo! I'm traveling next week.
Okay, so we'll get some calendars going. We don't need to talk about that.
Yeah.
Live. Let me end this stream.